What's going on, everybody? We're here at Music on the Menu. We're inside of Mohegan Sun Pocono at 105 The River. Today, our guest is Empire in Decline. I'm being joined by Ron and Mike right now from the band. Also, Alan's over there. We know who Alan is. We don't have to give him any more introductions here. So, guys, I want to congratulate you because your song's been getting a lot of airtime recently. I saw on your Facebook page. Let's see, I want to make sure you get all the radio stations there. Let's see, here 105 The River's been playing your music, 97.9X, Alt 92.1, 88.5 WRKC. So a lot of airtime. Congratulations. What's it like for you guys knowing that your music's getting out there to so many different channels?
Well, I mean, obviously we're happy about it. That's what you want. The cool thing is, it seems like in the past several weeks they've all been playing a different song, but like all at the same time. So it's been helping us get likes on Facebook, and you know.
So what was it like then for you guys, like the very first time you actually heard your song come on the radio? Like, were you sitting there tuned in, waiting for it? What was that like?
My guess is Alan played it.
Yeah, that would have been years ago.
That would have been a long time ago, yeah.
Oh, for +3.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although in high school I did have something played over the PA system once. That was exciting.
Well, that's even cooler. Yeah.
It was an awesome feeling.
Maybe.
I could imagine,
You get an
definitely.
immediate response from your classmates,
Oh, yeah.
right?
So, here's a good question when it comes to music, too, that I want to ask. So, Aaron Fink was in a couple months ago, and when we were doing the radio version of the show with him, I asked him about back in his, like, Breaking Benjamin days, and I said, there's, a couple songs I listen to when I go to the gym. Do you ever, sit there and when you're working out or just hanging out, listen to your own songs? Like, nah, that would be kind of weird. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. If I wrote a song, I'd probably listen to it every single day. What do you guys like with your music? Do you sit there and, like, once you put an album out or that, do you sit there and just listen to it back? Or do you kind of just, we're done with that and we move on?
Well, I mixed this one. This is the first time, and I've heard those songs. I know every second of those songs, so I'm okay not listening to them for a while.
I'd have to agree. I'm the same way. When we're recording them, we listen to them so much, and then of course playing out live, we're playing them. So I revisit them from time to time.
Yeah.
But
It's really cool when we did a reunion +3 thing last year, and just going back to the old songs. That was really cool.
Okay, cool. And Alan, how about you? You're a musical guy there. If you ever wrote a #1 song, Alan, or just a good song, would you be listening to it?
He's got a song.
yeah, he has one.
Summer
Oh,
Days.
yeah?
Summer Days. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Alan, why'd you be the guest on your own show one of these times? The Alan K. Stout Hour.
We've never played Summer Days on this show ever, so I guess this kind of answers your question.
Got to do it now.
You listen to
Yeah.
it. You listen to it when it's new for a little while, and then you hate it actually for a while. I wish I did this differently, and then you kind of get used to it, and then you kind of, I guess I like it, and then you move on from it. I mean, one of the funny stories, I think when you're a musician and a songwriter, it's so different than if you're just a fan of the band. A fan is a completist. A fan wants all the records. Like, I know our mutual friend, Brett Alexander, who you did some work with, he doesn't have the Badleys records. He's actually called me up and said, can you get me a copy of some of these songs, because I guess the band was going to do them, and he didn't have the records. And I literally, about 10 years ago, burned all of these great songs, and I just gave them to his daughters and said, you need to have these. This is your father's music, because he doesn't have it around the house. And
you do accumulate a lot of stuff. I mean, we were only on the local level, but there's a lot of memorabilia and just stuff that you kind of, at some point, you just kind of...
I would still think, though, that you have at least one CD copy of your albums.
I would have the songs,
for posterity. Hey, they might, 100 years from now, this was my great-great-grandfather's rock band. If for no other reason than that. But I do think that the musicians themselves, they're usually on to the next thing.
Yeah, definitely. And now, one thing that I also want to ask you guys about, when I was on your Facebook page, I was looking at places that you guys played at. Now, whenever we're doing the show, the majority of the people that we talk to are from the Scranton area. And you guys are as well, but you guys play a lot of shows in Berwick and Bloomsburg, that central PA area. What's the musical scene like down in the central Pennsylvania area?
I mean, everything has changed since in the last 20 years, the bigger clubs are mostly not there anymore. They're a little more
receptive to live entertainment. You get more people out down that way.
Yeah.
The venues, of course, have shrunk.
We're appreciative of where we play now. It's great.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest thing, is the bigger clubs and stuff just aren't really.
And how would you say it compares to the Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area? Is it any different than it?
I'd say it's a little different.
Like Ron said, they're a little more. People are maybe a little more receptive there, but it's very similar.
And Alan, how about you? I mean, you've seen music pretty much everywhere throughout the state. Well, do you see a difference in the central PA versus the northeastern Pennsylvania area?
Well, central PA back in the 20 years ago, they had Live came out of York.
Okay.
And then Fuel came out of Harrisburg, even though some of the guys were originally they actually moved to Central PA because there was a vibe there. Badleys came out of Central / Northeast PA.
Yeah. They were Sealands Grove, is that it?
Yeah, they built
Okay.
a big following in Harrisburg as well as Wilkes-Barre. Band called Solution AD got signed to Atlantic Records. They were a Media 5, and so there was actually a scene where it wasn't like Seattle, but it was kind of getting known nationally. That Pennsylvania was, and that's right around the time that these guys were forming bands, and they were a little bit younger than those groups. But I'm sure you were inspired by that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we played shows with, like in Williamsport with the Badleys.
Yeah.
I mean, we caught the cool thing was we caught the tail end of the.
Yeah, they were kind of
happening
mentors
scene
for us
back
a little bit, because we did our first the +3 records with Paul, and we did some with Brett too. So, they were helpful. And
how exciting was that time to be a young band at that time? And you'd think, oh, I guess we're going to be I guess we're going to have to play all covers. And then you see bands getting record deals out of Pennsylvania and doing very well. I mean, that changed the way everybody thought.
Yeah, it was great.
It was really.
it's great just to be young, I think.
If we can only go back, I'd do it all over again.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it was a different time.
Yeah.
But it was good.
And say real quick too before we go to break. Aside from just northeast or central Pennsylvania, you guys did some traveling, throughout your careers. What was kind of some of your favorite places to play in?
One of my favorite bars to play in.
Bars, areas. I know you guys went down to New York a couple times and stuff like that, right?
I always liked the Cell Block in Williamsport.
Okay.
Dark Horse in State College was.
I was in there once. I went to Lock Haven, so I was in between Williamsport
See,
and
I
State
graduated from
College.
Penn State, but I had more fun after I graduated.
We got to play
with the band.
the 35th anniversary of Woodstock at Yaskers Farm, which is now Bethel Woods. That was a pretty
that must
cool.
have been a cool one.
That did
experience.
happen, but it was torrential rains,
Yeah, that part was.
and that was. But it was still cool.
Well, guys, luckily for anyone that's watching, it doesn't matter whether it's northeastern Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania, they'll be able to hear you guys play live in Breakers coming up soon. But don't go anywhere. We're going to have more with Empire in Decline coming up right after this break. Well, we're back here at Music on the Menu. We're inside of 105 The River, inside of Mohegan Sun Pocono, and we're back with our special guest, Empire in Decline. Guys, before we were kind of talking about different musical scenes and all that, but I want to talk a little bit just about your guys' music in general. So you guys have 2 albums out, the newest one, Light Pollution, the one before that, The Rhythm and Regret. Kind of just tell me about both of your albums. You can start with the newer one, and then after that you talk about the old ones. Tell me about the album.
You want to say it? Okay. Well, the new album is different from anything we've done before, really, because we recorded it ourselves. I've always had a little recording rig, and we would do demos and things, but we would then go somewhere to record. And this time, we started to get into the demos, and it started to sound pretty good. So we kicked around doing it ourselves. So we did that, and the coolest thing for me was that when we got to the mastering stage, one of my childhood guitar heroes, Ty Tabor from the band King's X, he actually has a studio, and I sent him an email, and he did the mastering for us. So it was
neat.
really cool. Yeah. The first one, we did that pretty quickly after we started the band, and it was pretty much like just go in and play. This one, we did a little more experimenting with it, I would say.
Now, when you were saying before about how you guys, for this newest album, how you kind of did it all yourselves, how difficult is it to actually, lay everything down and do everything all by yourself?
For me, the hardest part is, well, with us, we all have careers and things on the side, so it's the time is the hard part. So this was mixed a lot. I'd get home from work late and mix it at like 11 o'clock at night, and listen to the mix in the car the next morning, and it was over the course of a couple months. It's not something that's difficult technically. It's just the time it takes a lot of time. If you're not in the band and you're doing it, maybe it's not as exhausting, but
a lot of reps listening over and over and over, this version, that version, try with this, but it's a good time.
And the other thing I want to ask you guys too about producing albums, you know, both of your albums, we were talking in the first block, I mean, your songs off both albums are getting a lot of airtime. How hard is it to not only produce one, but get two solid albums out there like that?
Again, it's time. I mean, it's if somebody came to me and said we needed to record an album in 2 months, I'd have a hard time coming up with songs. But basically, we just wait until we have enough songs and then get into the recording part is easier than the writing part. The writing part's the hard part.
And Alan, I want to even bring you in on that because you're a guy, you know, we've talked not only about bands locally, but even bands nationally. There's been a lot of big-time bands that really one album's what did it for them. I think, was Boston one of them? Boston, their album Boston, was that their biggest one?
The first one probably was the biggest one. And then they went years without doing another one. I think it was 8 years. Something.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that Boston, I mean, the whole sub-story to Boston is, you know, that Tom Schultz, you know, he invented the Rockman, which is how you can get an amplified guitar sound in the studio, and he probably made more money from the Rockman than Boston.
He made the Power Soak, the Rockman, a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so
but,
I mean,
he recorded that himself in his basement, I believe.
I mean, that album's over 40 years old now, and it still sounds
God,
enormous.
yeah.
I mean, he's a talented man. Yeah.
Well, you guys, you know, produced two very good albums, so congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you.
I want to ask you though about influences. I always love to hear everyone's different takes. Like, when you guys were growing up, what were your musical influences?
My brother was a big Kiss fan, so
I
had all the Kiss albums. My mom would try to hide them from me, and I'd have to. If I'd find them, then.
Are you going to
play
the
them.
shows for the farewell tour?
I haven't yet. Maybe we'll see. I've seen them 3 times.
You're
I
going
think.
right now. Are you on the one? Is it in Hershey?
I'll be going to multiple, yeah.
You got a couple of them. Okay. Is it true that Paul Stanley's not singing some of the songs on the album because of some of his vocal cords?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he sounds. I watched some clips on YouTube of the tour. He doesn't sound like he did in 1986, and he said he's not trying to. It sounds like him in 2019. You know, so if he is doing any of that, he maybe has a backing track to something he did very recently. You know, just to fill it out a little bit. I don't know. From what I understand, a lot of artists are doing that in these arenas these days. I don't know.
Gotcha. And I'm sorry, we completely missed over your musical influences. So I got excited about Kiss. I love Kiss.
I'm notorious in the band for liking the music that no one else likes. So we pick cover songs or whatever to do to supplement our stuff. I always want to do songs that no one else knows, but basically 90s alternative rock, indie rock like the Blake Babies and Lemonheads and stuff like that.
Cool, so a lot of different musical influence going on throughout the band. That's pretty cool. But what do you call it? We're kind of short on time because we want to get everyone to hear you guys playing in Breaker. So before we shoot it over to break, tell everybody where they could see all your music at, catch your upcoming events and all that.
You can check us out on Facebook or at our webpage, which is www.empireanddeclineband.com. You can go to Spotify or iTunes or Amazon.com. It's pretty much anywhere.
I got a question for Rick. It's a Kiss question, though. Drummer.
All right, shoot.
Since you brought Kiss up.
I know, it's hard once you bring Kiss up.
Pick one, Rick. Peter Criss, Eric Carr, or Eric Singer?
I'd say Eric Carr was probably the most talented, but I gotta go with the original. I gotta go with Peter Criss.
Had to ask.
Yeah.
Hey, I could talk about Kiss all day long. But hey, everybody, stick around because coming up after this break, you're going to hear Empire Decline perform live inside of Breakers, so don't go anywhere.
Please give a warm welcome for Empire in Decline.
It's not in a car, it's not in the basement, it's not in the backseat, it's not in the vanity. not in the pantry or in with the laundry. Remember you saw it and wouldn't be happy. Oh, oh, oh. You know where it is, the last place you look. Retrace your steps. It's not my place to not remember. It's not my nature to be careful when I should know better. It's not in the afternoon, it's not in the evening, it's everything in between, the night and the morning. Oh, oh, oh. You know when it hurts, you know, oh, oh. Retrace your steps, you know, oh, oh. You know where it is, the last place you look. Retrace your steps. Thank you very much for coming, everybody. We're Empire in Decline. That song was called Retrace Your Steps. This next one is off our latest record. It is called Something You Will Never Give. Another quiet night, another wasted year. I know I will be alright as long as I keep it away from here. Some things that you want, some things that you don't. I know I will be alright, left in places long ago. I should've known it when you asked me to change. I should've known that I'd be drifting away. I should've known that I'd be better off on my own. Just say you'll be there for me one time. Just say you believe in me one time. But it's something I'll never have, and it's something I'll never give. Time to figure it out, that's what you'd always say. It took a while to learn there's nothing to sway. You've got your secrets and already chosen, and baby tomorrow another door opens. Just say you'll be there for me one time. Just say you believe in me one time. But it's something I'll never have, and it's something you'll never give. I should've known it when you asked me to change. I should've known that I'd be drifting away. I should've known that I'd be better off on my own. I should've known that there was some other guy, and if I'm wondering, it's too late to try. I should've known that I'd be better off on my own. Find peace in the quiet of higher ground, or drown in the flood with this all around. Squeezing my dreams and all of my secrets, letting you know me. Well, that was my weakness. Just say you'll be there for me one time. Just say you believe in me one time. It's something I'll never have, and it's something I'll never give. I know it hurts, but I'm sorry. Now I know that this is our story, but it's something I'll never have, and it's something I'll never give. Thank you very much. Like I said, that song was off of our newest record. This next song is off of our first record, which came out a couple years ago. And I'd like to thank Alan, who's been playing it. This one's called Don't Say Anything. I always love how hair hangs in your eyes. I never do is when I say goodbye, but I never could stand a thing you say. I never could seem to get away. Can we make a deal? I need to see you again, but don't say anything. Don't say anything. I wanna love you forever. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. I wanna love you forever. I try to be some way I'm not. Trying to be good doesn't work for me anymore, and I never could really understand the point of trying to change it back. It's a sickness, and I'm not buying anymore. But don't say anything. Don't say anything. I wanna love you forever. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. I wanna love you forever. I don't wanna get to know you better, 'cause I'm trying to forget. So please don't even say a word to me before you make this something I regret. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. I wanna love you forever. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. I wanna love you forever. But don't say anything. But don't say anything. I wanna love you forever.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Happy to see everybody made it out tonight. We appreciate it. We'd like to thank Alan Stout for having us on Music on the Menu here live. I'd like to be